Hi, I think we're on. I don't know. Seems like we're on. Hey, open up the watch party because I'm going to put something up that you can't.
I can't what?
You won't be able to see except unless you're on the watch party. I don't think.
I see it. Here it is. I got it.
The
I'm
Beat
going to
Cops
start the watch
guy.
party right now.
And we're at the Beat Cops guy. That's his most vainglorious self, Bull Garlington, over there in the Ray Charles sunglasses. And I am David Haynes. I gotta zoom this camera a little bit more because it's showing too much of my belly. All right.
It's showing just the right amount of your belly, Dave.
So this is our daily 15, 20-minute podcast that we're doing 2 hours late because we're both working so hard. You're actually working at
It's
work.
true.
I work at night, but I'm working hard trying to keep my house from falling down because my kids are home. Oh, my God.
All right.
You can clean up something once in a while.
The dog. I'm telling you, I've got more work right now than I have ever had, and it is very specifically, except in one instance, I did get a job as an editor on a magazine, and that has nothing to do with COVID. But all the other stuff I'm getting has everything to do with the virus, because
Really?
people are desperate to read stuff. Yeah.
You know what? I'm telling you, I am in overload. Lately I downloaded some Audible books so I can every podcast, every news show I watch, that's all you're getting is virus all day long. And I have a question. Anyways, my point is that I've been listening to much more music than I normally would to get away from it for a few hours, and I've been listening to Audible books to get away from it for a few hours. But I have a question for you, and I can't remember what it is.
What is your question, Dave?
Oh, it was going to get to the media thing, but first let me say this. I love what data and visualization of data and shit like that, and so the Worldometer website, which has all the graphs and stuff for cases around the world, there is a glimmer of hope. The last few days. I'm hoping it's a glimmer of hope, but the last
careful with that hope shit, Dave.
I'm telling you,
right?
It's the last 2 weeks have been just up and up and up and up and up, but the growth rate has gotten below 1, which means that it's no longer that it's on the downslope. Only for a couple days, so who knows what's going to happen, but. It's at least a glimmer of hope. And the Washington model, which is the model that everybody, all the news services and the government and everybody's been using as to what could possibly be coming, has been steadily being downsized. So we're at a point now where we've flattened the curve, it looks like, so that the hospital beds will not be overwhelmed. At least that's what.
Well, this is exactly the right time that should have happened too, because the whole idea was to avoid this week and next week being horrendous spikes, and instead having it flatten out. I think that's wonderful.
Right? Yeah, it's a glimmer of hope. It's still it's only been a couple of days, but it looks like that all these measures that everybody's taken is doing what it's supposed to do, and if we can get through the next 2 weeks, then we might be on a downslope. But I still wonder what's going to happen in a month, or
I'm going to be drunk at a bar in a month.
Well, if we start, but what happens? I'll tell you something. Here's the problem: these politicians, and I haven't heard anybody talking about it, but these politicians have to be looking at what point do we reopen the economy? And it's a tough. I mean, I don't envy the decision, because if you open it too late, every day we do this does more damage to the economy. We all know that. And so, at some point, you have to open up the economy so that we can hopefully get back to normal. And the longer we wait, the harder that's going to be. But if we do it too soon, then we risk the idea of reinstigating the virus. That's a tough freaking choice.
I just think that what should happen is everyone should receive a testing kit at their house that has instantaneous results. And if it shows that you have the Corvid virus, then you get like an emblem, like a gold star that you would wear on your clothing. And then when those people are in public, you just round them up and take them away so they don't infect everybody. I think that's a reasonable response. It's a reasonable response.
You're saying that in such a way. I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, does he realize what he's saying? And you're saying it in such a way that you don't realize what you're saying. But I know you well enough to know that that's...
What? What?
That's funny. Okay, all right. So that was. Oh, the other thing was the media thing that I'm actually interested. Somebody mentioned this and very much in passing mentioned this, and it was like this frightens me a little bit. But they mentioned the fact that most of the media is New York centric. You know, most of the big media companies, the big networks, everything's in New York, right? No, I'm serious. Okay. I'm asking you. This is not a media bias thing. I mean, not.
I feel it's going to get there.
Not a political media bias thing.
Yeah, I think that most of the broadcast media is in Atlanta and New York.
Right, and so what this person was sort of saying is that and it was a guy on Commentary Magazine podcast, but he was talking about the fact that because the biggest hotspot is in New York, that the media has been very apocalyptic about what's coming these next 2 weeks, you know, and everything, and that now that there's sort of a glimmer of hope, and especially if New York starts a downward trend, that the media, because it's so New York centric, is going to turn around and be very positive, because they're going to tend to focus on what's happening in New York. And what this person was making the point, I can't remember his name, but what this person was making the point is,
was he just some dude on Facebook or like an old white man on a porch somewhere?
No. This is one of the writers of Commentary Magazine, and what he was talking about was the idea that if the New York starts to trend down and the media starts to get very positive, that might cause problems in other parts of the country, because New York is the leading edge of all this. I mean, I suppose Washington really is the leading edge, but New York has got hit first and fastest and hardest. So if they start basing all of their coverage on whether New York is coming back, well, there's other not the leading indicator, but the other follow-ons, all these New Orleans, Florida, and stuff, who might start thinking that it's that they're following New York's path. You know what I'm saying? And I'm wondering what you think about that.
Well, let's just hope that the media is thinking about that. I think that yes, you are thinking poorly about the media, because you're automatically thinking that they're.
I'm not. This is not me. This is not my opinion.
It's some dumbass on Commentary Magazine that you read. It automatically assumes that the media only reports like from some sort of weird intuitive way, like they're doing interpretive dance or something, and they just kind of move how they feel. They're going to report the facts, and if shit's going down in New Orleans, they're going to report it, and that's how it's going to work. Okay. End of story.
Right.
Move along.
All right. Well, we won't talk about that. You can't.
Thank you.
Reasonable about it. So.
No, I can't be reasonable about it.
I just, it's like
still talking about it.
It drives me nuts. Right.
Well, try to be a better person.
All right, I'm sorry. Well, we will stop thinking of anybody in the media as a human being. So we'll just go on with the. I mean, Jesus. Aren't you in a low grade panic all the time? Aren't you in a low grade panic all the time?
Yeah.
So am I, man. It scares the shit out of me. I'm going around the house with bleach.
Doing that
and to think that the media isn't is a little strange, man.
What the fuck?
You act like they're automatons.
How did you learn? No, you're acting like they're automatons.
No, I'm not. I'm acting like they are human beings with biases. If they're based in New York and New York is going into a hellhole, they're going to believe everything's going into a hellhole. And if it starts getting better, it's going to start getting better. And if they don't start thinking about it, what the fuck? All right, never mind. We won't talk about that. What else you got? Oh, I know what I got. I got one other topic. The one thing that I've been seeing and going on through this whole thing is that there are some of the funniest memes coming out. I don't know if it's just because I'm paying more attention to them because I spend a lot more time on the computer now. But here, this is the reason why I wanted you to make sure you had the, because I don't know if you could see this on your Zoom thing. But I'm gonna put up a meme that I just thought I've been laughing about it for 24 hours, and I can't get my goddamn thing. No, the mouse isn't working now. That's great. All right. So I don't think you can see that on your computer screen, but you should be able to see it on the.
No, I don't see anything.
You should be able to see it on the Facebook watch party. It's about 10 seconds behind, but I just somebody sent me this and I just thought it was hilarious. So,
well, like I said, I'm getting a ton of I'm getting a lot of pitches read, and I'm getting a lot of pitches picked up and looked at. I should be on Little Old Lady's Comedy today.
Really?
And and in the magazine that I write for, they're wanting more stories that are more entertaining. So and then the health magazine wants stories about cheap food you can make out of whatever you got laying around.
Yeah, you said that. Didn't you say a water sandwich or something like that?
A water pie and a vinegar pie.
Right. You know what you also should do? You should do a story about because you know what, you can't find any cleaning stuff. No more sanitizing wipes. I don't know where the hell these companies, either they're making money selling this to the government or they're losing a lot of money, because where the hell, I mean, the sanitizing wipes people should be going 24 hours a day. I haven't seen toilet paper or sanitizing wipes or spray, the whatever the fuck you put on.
It's a manufacturing curve
in like 2 weeks. It's what?
So, for instance, a manufacturing, it's basically a manufacturing logistical problem, because what happens is you have core companies that produce the base products for a lot of adjacent companies. So, for instance, 3M makes the wipes that are in the
Clorox
sanitizing. Yeah. So like Lysol wipes and Clorox wipes, that cloth part, it might say that it comes from another company, but it's manufactured by GM. If GM has to drop their manufacturing to do something else, like make masks, then there's going to be a lag in those things. Also, most manufacturing in America is on-demand manufacturing, as much as they can make it, which means that it literally is like they make it when it's ordered. That's how close to the wire they try to be on manufacturing stuff, because that's the most effective and most profitable model. So you don't have them making like 20 million cars and letting them sit around until the sales get up. They make cars right at the front line of the sales curve. It's true for every other thing. So
yeah, but I mean, I understand
this demand curve was too sudden and too sharp for any company to keep to ramp up and meet it. There's no way. The lag is going to be 2 or 3 weeks.
But it's been 2 or 3 weeks, and that's my point. Isn't the ramping up? Don't they? You would think that they would have the ability to ramp up after 2 or 3 weeks to start.
I mean, I think that I have no. First of all, I don't know how long it would actually be. I'm making that up. I don't know anything about business. This is all me telling you stuff from a guy who sits at his desk all day and writes about poop. So maybe my opinion is not completely valid. But I think that, like, for instance, the paper companies in the U.S., whichever ones are left in the U.S., they sell to the entire world. So I think the shortage is global. And so I think that no matter how hard they ramp up, they're trying to meet a demand, a scarcity that's literally on the global scale. I don't think they can ramp up.
Well, yeah, I don't know what the hell. It seems though the food industry, because I noticed when this first started happening, we had shortages of everything from fucking eggs to milk and all your basic stuff. But it seems now, I went shopping today, and it was like normal shopping. Produce, meat, everything was normal, except for cleaning supplies and paper products, which I understand why. Or I don't really understand why you were hoarding cleaning supplies at the beginning, but I understand why there was a big rush on that. It just seems like that seems to be the big lagging thing.
I think that in terms of cleaning supplies, like Clorox wipes and Lysol wipes, I think anybody that had any inkling of what was going to happen, or any understanding of virility or science, would have immediately bought that. My wife bought those before she bought toilet paper and stuff. The first thing because she used to be an environmental scientist and an industrial hygienist, and the very first thing she did when we realized that this was real was she went out and bought a ton of Lysol and a ton of those wipes, and tried to get back hand sanitizer. But even at that point, hand sanitizer was disappearing. So that might be why it was, because there's a lot of people out there that would have had that knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, I went out. I still have. Well, we still have a few of the sanitizing wipes left. I think I'm down to my last couple of things, but I also bought several gallons of bleach, and I prefer the mixing it in a spray bottle, and I walk through the house 2-3 times a day and just spray every doorknob, light switch, computer, everything, and let it dry and stuff on there with the bleach. So.
You're as bad as my wife then. What I have decided to do is, because I really want to knock this thing out, so I take the most the most volatile chemicals I can find. I take bleach on the one hand, and I take
ammonia
on the other hand, and I mix those together in a bottle. And I spray my face, and then I take a nap.
On behalf of the Beat Cubs guide, I would not recommend that anybody do that out there.
Then I take a nap. And sometimes I mix it with ether, and I just spray it in the air, and then I take a nap. And
and then you take the fish tank cleaner and
then I take another nap. I've been doing a lot of napping. I've had a rough weekend because I blew my knee out on Friday. And
wait! How'd you blow your knee out? Playing basketball?
No, I don't know what happened. I say blew my knee out. I have gout, and I think that what happened is, for the first time ever, I had a gout. It's been a couple of years since I had a bad gout episode, and I think I had one in my knee, and didn't realize that's what was going on, and caused even further injury while I was walking around on it. I should not walk around on it. But now I can't do most of the stuff I do in yoga, so I can't work out, which is really making me mad. And then I got sick.
Like sick? Like, I was going to say,
no fever.
The injury might be psychosomatic.
No,
so that you don't have to do yoga.
No, that would have been my back. My back. No, this hurts like a mofo, man. And but I did get sick on Saturday, and I was panicked pretty bad. And Connor was like, "Well, did you take your temperature?" I'm like, "No, I didn't take. I'm a grown ass man, and just take it." And I took my temperature, and I was like 97 degrees. I'm like, "All right, so I don't have coronavirus."
That's one thing we just got at the police station. We got the infrared temperature scanner, and so I've been going around taking everybody's temperature at roll call. And we have to send them home if they're over 100 degrees.
Interesting.
But so far, we've been pretty good. Except for the one Chicago police officer that died, Marco DeFranco, actually did work in our building, but he was in the same unit.
I had somebody sending around a meme that says Noam Chomsky died. And I saw it, and I clicked on it because I was like, I hate that motherfucker. I don't hate him for political stuff. I love his politics. And I love his linguistic theory. I really do. I think Noam Chomsky is a national treasure, and everyone should like him. But reading Noam Chomsky is like banging your head on a knobby desk. I hate him as a writer. And so I clicked through it, and it's like, see, most people won't click through to find out this isn't true at all. He's perfectly fine. And I was like, man, you sons of bitches, now is not the time.
Yeah, really. That's just...
Now is not the time.
You know who is seriously sick, who I'm a big fan of, and I hate to see, is
John
John
Prine?
Prine. Yeah, did I tell you? Did I already tell you that?
Well, no, I do follow the news, Dave.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know how many times on this podcast you said you don't follow the news and count on me to
Well,
bring it up.
okay, I mean, I say I follow the news.
You follow the important news.
I am also on Facebook, so.
And Boris Johnson is in ICU today. They put him in ICU.
You know what? Boris Johnson is such a lug nut. Do you know what his hobby is? Winston Churchill was an accomplished painter and a brilliant essayist. Not to mention a wonderful collector of bourbons and a guy who really knew his way around cigars. You know what Boris Johnson's hobby is?
Politics.
No. I'm talking about what does he do when he's not doing politics?
I don't know what.
Pass the time.
I don't know.
Take a guess. He's a world leader. What do you
play
take
the
a
piano?
guess?
Play the piano.
No.
Collect stamps.
No.
Coins.
He makes box buses.
Box buses.
He takes a cardboard box. This is a 3rd grade craft project. He takes a cardboard box and he cuts holes in the side. And then he paints it to look like a bus, and the holes are windows.
I don't think that's true.
That is true.
It's not.
They show him in an interview holding one of these things and talking about how this is his hobby. And he talks. Now, he might be an extraordinarily accomplished prankster, in which case, props to you. But I don't think he is. Box buses, man.
I don't think that's true.
Look it up. Look it up. It's not fake news if he's holding the thing. All right, we've done 25 minutes.
All right. So we'll be back tomorrow. Although we might have to do. It might be late. We might have to record something. I might be in a car tomorrow at 4, so we'll see.
You might what? With the who?
I might be in a car. A friend of mine has a farm, and tomorrow's supposed to be a nice day. And I was like, I'm going to drive up to the farm and get Michelle out of the house. They need help with their cattle.
Please practice social distancing, and you don't know that cattle won't give it to you.
I will. But they have a couple. I was like, she's like, she's out helping her mom. Her mom injured herself. No COVID, but fell down. And so I said, I'll come up. I don't know if I can help with cattle, but I can. They had some felled trees for the spring that they. And she goes, well, we have
Guys are all gonna die.
We have a couple of calves that have to be bottle fed. I said, well, that's perfect for Michelle. So
you're all gonna die.
Your dogs are gonna. All right. So this is the Beat Cops Guide. We will be back tomorrow at some point. So stay tuned. There you go. That's pleasant.
And listen, when people come in, I'll wave hi to them every time. All right.
And tell them to get off your lawn. All right.
That's right, buddy.
Have a good night.
All right.